they'll say, oh my gosh, like she's so gifted. Autistic kids are so gifted. They're so smart. They're like beyond this world. They're special. They know exactly what they're doing. As an adult, I get the complete opposite. Oh, I need to get parenting classes because I have no idea what I'm doing and I'm not capable of being a parent nor capable of taking care of myself. I get the, oh, I hope Chris finds him a nice woman because you seem like you're too much. You seem like a burden. It makes me wonder as a parent how somebody is going to see my children as adults. And those same children that everybody is saying is so smart and so intelligent apparently goes away when they become an adult, and we're no longer smart and we no longer know what we're doing, and we're incapable of taking care of ourselves and having a family and having meaningful relationships. And that's not the case. That is not true. And I feel like I thought a lot about how I wanted my first video to go on this page. And I wanted it to be some elaborate thing or to just jump right into showing you guys things. But I got a lot of questions from a lot of you guys. How is it to be an adult with autism? In today's times, we focus and we talk a lot about children being autistic and early intervention, which all are very important. We don't talk about the kids that were missed and that are now adults today. And I was one of them. I grew up not knowing what autism was. I didn't know that I was autistic. I didn't know. Hi. What's wrong? You hungry? Okay. I'm gonna finish this video and then I'll get you something for lunch, okay? I can't do it quickly, no. What I can do is make sure you have lunch on time like you do every day, okay? Same time. Is that all right? Okay. I grew up very confused and very out of the loop. I didn't understand a lot of context. I didn't understand a lot of social cues at first, but I did start to observe a lot of people after being bullied for so long. I started to observe to see what is everybody else doing that's not getting them bullied, and I did those things. There's a lot of questions about how I'm able to navigate marriage, especially with someone that is neurotypical. Chris is not autistic. He doesn't have any mental health conditions. He is as normal as it can get in every aspect. As I say, like his thought process, he's extremely smart. His thought process is a lot different than mine. The way that he sees the world is a lot different than the way that I do. As an adult, when you go in to go get a diagnosis or the evaluation to get diagnosed, I remember one of the questions that they asked me, this was one of the puzzle things that they asked me. And one question was, what is similar between 2 and 7? And I stood there puzzled. Like I had no idea like what was similar with 2 and 7. And I began to just like kind of imagine like what they look like, right? So I'm sitting in front of her and I'm like imagining that I'm like pulling my hand out to like trace to kind of see. And I'm like, oh, they kind of both have like this little slant line. And she looks at me and she said, they're both numbers. And I was like, oh, that's an answer I would give. But Chris would have probably said they're both numbers. And that gives you like the difference between like how someone with autism thinks and how someone that is not autistic, how they think or perceive things, or able to answer a question in a way that it was meant to be answered. When I first started dating Chris, I didn't know that I was autistic. I knew nothing about autism. I didn't even know that my son, at the time 3, was autistic. I didn't have a way to tell him beforehand that I was autistic. And that's a lot of the questions that I'm getting as well. I can't, stay in a relationship. I don't know how to, tell my partner, and it just doesn't work out, and I'm too much, and I'm, a burden. And I completely understand that. And I understand it in a way because I was masking, and it was very tiring. Now, what I did know about myself was that I did have some type of OCD, and I have known that since I was a teen. What I didn't know would happen left untreated is that it grows. Who I was and how I was when I first met Chris is completely different than who I am today. Some of the signs and some of the things and rituals that I do now, I was doing then. And he never asked me about it, and I never felt the need to tell him about it, I guess. I think on the outside, it kind of just looked like I was a perfectionist, and I, was very organized, and I just didn't understand certain things. Today, being married it's probably a lot for him, and it's a lot for me. I wanted to create this page to give and show a perspective from an adult with autism, the process of how to go and get diagnosed. It's very vague online of what someone should do. We don't have the same resources and free services, a lot of the free services that children have. I wanted to show the complexities of autism as an adult and what it could look like. I want to be able to express myself in a way that isn't judged. The difference between someone telling me, when they see me go talking, or they're seeing us have a conversation, or they're seeing her learn something as a kid at 5 years old. Someone, and I see it all the time, they'll say, oh my gosh, like, she's so gifted. Autistic kids are so gifted. They're so smart. They're like beyond this world. They're special. They know exactly what they're doing. They're just like top notch, like intelligence. And then on the other hand, when someone learns that I am autistic as an adult, I get the complete opposite. I get that, oh, I need to get parenting classes because I have no idea what I'm doing, and I'm not capable of being a parent nor capable of taking care of myself. I get the, oh, I hope Chris finds him a nice woman because you seem like you're too much. You seem like a burden. And I get the opposite effect of what she gets. And it makes me wonder, as a parent, how somebody is going to see my children as adults. And those same children that everybody is saying is so smart and so intelligent apparently goes away when they become an adult, and we're such a problem, and we're no longer smart, and we no longer know what we're doing, and we're incapable of taking care of ourselves and having a family and having meaningful relationships. And that's not the case. That is not true. And it's sometimes it gets to me because it feels good to hear people say that she's smart and that Matthew is this such kind soul, and yet the opposite of, I'm yet the opposite of them. And it's weird. The judgment is so weird. I don't even know the word for it. It's so weird. It's so odd. It's so weird. So I hope that this page is going to be able to help adults that are finding out they're autistic, or adults that are autistic and maybe you knew your entire life that you were. I hope this page helps you feel less alone. I hope that this gives you hope and encouragement, and I hope that you guys learned something. Even more so, I hope that those that are not autistic, neurotypical people, people that maybe don't deal with OCD and ADHD and other mental health conditions, I hope that this is a page that you can find as a resource to learn from, to see how you can be helpful to someone that you may know that is living with any of these mental health conditions and disorders. I do want to say that I appreciate everybody that is following and anybody new that's going to follow. And my very next video, if you guys stick around, my next video is going to be how to get how to go about getting a diagnosis as an adult. That's probably the biggest question that I'm going to get. So I'm going to make sure that I thoroughly give you guys what my experience was like, from getting a referral to seeing the specialist to doing the actual evaluation, down to exactly what I had to do during my evaluation, and then how you'll get your results, and then hopefully that will help you guys go and get your evaluations. And I'll see if I can even find some resources that would also help as adults, for those that maybe can't afford it, or maybe their insurance isn't included in their insurance. But that'll be the next video, so stay tuned, and until next time.